What is going on, you guys? I am here to give you a quick overview of Smackdown Live, and it's just going to be a little bit of what I thought of the show. So let's get this thing underway. Boom, explosions everywhere. All right, the opening segment, we had a little recap of what happened last night on Monday Night Raw. In case you guys didn't watch, there was a siege is the word that they're using now. It was Shane McMahon bringing over some of his SmackDown talent, and they basically destroyed Monday Night Raw. They went to the locker room and they took everybody out, which was a little bit a throwback, you know, to all those invasion angles that we've seen in the history of the WWE. And then we had Shane McMahon make his return to SmackDown Live after the events that occurred with Hell in a Cell when, you know, he leap of faith onto an empty table. Shane O'Mac comes out, talks to us about the siege, telling us how it's always better to throw the first blow in a fight, and SmackDown Live obviously did as they destroyed Monday Night Raw. And he makes it clear that Raw will not have that opportunity as they are prepared, but as he is doing that, none other than Sami Zayn comes out to interrupt Shane O'Mac. Sami Zayn, with his obnoxious dancing, really over the top. You know, he's already over the top, but about 100 steps further. First thing that Sami says to Shane is, "No hard feelings." To which Shane responds to, "There is hard feelings. But, you know, the whole Survivor Series still going on right now. He's not going to focus on that. You know, there is hard feelings, of course, for Shane. I mean, Sami kind of removed Kevin Owens from the table. Shane kind of landed on the table. Sami kind of grabbed Kevin, put him on top of Shane for the 1, 2, 3. Now, Sami Zayn goes on to state that him and Kevin Owens are going to be part of Team SmackDown, which Shane says, "I don't want you on Team SmackDown, but why would you not want Sami and Kevin Owens? You know, come on, man. You got to put your hard feelings aside." But he did give Sami Zayn the opportunity. He put him in a match to earn his spot for Team SmackDown against none other than Randy Orton. Next up, you had the first match of the night was The New Day. This time it was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods with Big E at ringside taking on the #1 contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Shelton Benjamin, Chad Gable with the Usos. Sorry, that was kind of terrible. The Usos were on commentary, and look, the Usos are awesome on commentary. They should be on commentary for every tag team match on SmackDown Live. They are great at putting over their opponents like they did against Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. You know, the Usos are awesome, and they're funny as well. And one of the things I didn't like, though, during the commentary was being emphasized, little emphasis, that it might not be the Usos challenging the Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, which I don't know why you wouldn't put the Usos with Ambrose and Rollins. The Usos are on such a high right now. They're awesome to watch, so why wouldn't you want that against the Shield? You know, that would be money. It would probably be the match of the night, in my opinion. Shield versus Usos. Now, the match itself was kind of fast-paced, and it was okay. I enjoyed the match. You know, definitely Shelton Benjamin and Gable, two of the top competitors the SmackDown roster has against the New Day, who can hold their own, Kofi and Xavier Woods. There was, though, a little sign of heelish from Shelton Benjamin, as pointed out by the Usos. Maybe Shelton and Gable won't win the tag team champions, and maybe Shelton turns on them. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Much like Raw had their thing with the women, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Alicia Fox, seeing who's going to captain their team. SmackDown Live had the same thing. SmackDown Live actually now has their 5 women. It's Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Tamina, Naomi, and Carmella. Those 5 will go up against, as of now, it's Alicia Fox, Bayley, and Sasha. And you know, there was a discussion of who's going to be the team captain. And probably the most important part, Ellsworth wasn't there. You know, Carmella had the leash there, but there was no Ellsworth. Charlotte, you know, Charlotte's as awesome as anybody, and she volunteers herself as captain. Brian says no. they're going to have a fatal 5-way match to determine who's the captain of the women's side for SmackDown. Up next, we had not Fashion Files, Fashion Dogs. Basically, Breezango and now starting the Ascension. The Ascension getting TV time any way they can get it. I'm all for it. And you know how James Ellsworth was missing from the previous segment? Well, it turns out the Ascension captured Ellsworth. Had him tied up. We're going to do wasteland things to him with gasoline and a lighter. And then Carmella comes out, finds her James Ellsworth, and she opens her briefcase because their briefcase was missing, and there's a pair of dirty lawn underwear. And the Ascension point out that 2B is the Bludgeon Brothers, and they go have a little comedy segment. And then Tyler Breeze goes on how brother doesn't start with a B, and how the B is silent in brother. Where do they come up with this stuff, man? Next up, we had Baron Corbin, the U.S. champion, taking on Sin Cara, or as I like to call him, Unico. Why do I like to call him Unico? I like his Unico gimmick, even though it was stereotypical and, well, slightly a lot racist. I like Unico. Baron Corbin, fresh off a clean victory against AJ Styles, loses by countout last week. This week he gets DQ'd as he grounds and pounds, kind of like Lesnar was doing to Orton. Instead, they ruled it a DQ. Sin Cara gets the victory again over Corbin. Don't know exactly why Sin Cara is being programmed with Corbin at the moment. But I do like Sin Cara. I like Unico, so I'm not going to complain about him getting TV time. And it ended up with Baron Corbin hitting the end of days onto the concrete floor, laying out Sin Cara. I don't know who came up with the end of days, but hopefully they got a raise. In the next segment, we see a little bit of tension between Daniel Bryan and the commissioner, Shane McMahon. Bryan kind of just being upset that Shane didn't tell him that they were going to siege on Monday Night Raw. Bryan is the general manager of SmackDown, so maybe it was in his right to know that Shane was planning on doing that. Up next, we had the phenomenal AJ Styles, the MVP of the WWE for the last week for what he did, going to TLC, having an amazing match with Balor, then coming back on Raw, teaming with The Shield, taking on Sunil Singh, who was fighting for the honor of the WWE champion Jinder Mahal. You know, the Singh brothers come out, they do what they do, and they actually do the little mimicking of Brock Lesnar where he goes, the reigning, defending, undisputed, and you know, the whole shtick. So Jinder comes out, he cuts a little promo trying to unbury himself from the burial that he suffered last night on Raw at the hands of Paul Heyman, stating how he out-wrestled Nakamura, how he beat up Randy Orton, and how he doesn't get the respect here that he does back in India, you know, the whole anti-American. But before Jinder can finish, the phenomenal AJ Styles interrupts him. Thank you, AJ. Who was greeted with an enormous pop. You know, I love how Styles keeps on getting pops, even though it's been over 2 years, close to 2 years, and he's still getting huge, amazing pops. It warms my heart, honestly. And, well, you know what happens next. We finally make our way to the women's fatal 5-way match. Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Tamina, Carmella, and Naomi to see who captains the women's side on SmackDown. Maybe Tamina's gonna take it, or maybe Carmella takes it. And you know, once it got to the outside, that's when all the amazing spots came in. We had Naomi springboarding on top of Becky. We had Naomi going for some head scissors, Hurricane Rana, but Charlotte was able to power her and kind of just whip her around into the barricade. Tamina takes out Charlotte. Tamina gets taken out, and then Carmella throws Naomi onto the turnbuckle, and her shoulder hits against the pole. She falls out of the ring, and then it's Becky Lynch and Carmella. She gets her into the disarmer, and she makes her tap out. Becky Lynch, the captain for the women's side on SmackDown, from last night on Raw, where Becky Lynch was the focal point for the attacks. You know, she was there with the New Day leading the front line, so I kind of started thinking maybe they were planning something big for her, and of course they are. She's the captain on SmackDown. Whether that leads to a future title shot, who knows, but I think it's about time to get Becky back into that title picture that she's been missing for quite some time now. Bludgeon Brothers had their promo. Am I pronouncing that right? Bludgeon? I think that's right. And Luke Harper, Eric Rowan being repackaged, they look pretty cool. That gimmick that they're doing, it's kind of ties into still with the Wyatt family, but you know, I think they can make it work. Hopefully that gimmick can, you know, get them into a great spot on the roster for Rowan. You know, Luke Harper is amazing on his own. You know, hopefully with this gimmick they could be a dominant force and produce great matches with, you know, SmackDown has a great tag team division already. And, you know, adding these two on there could certainly even make it better than it already is. Dolph Ziggler cutting a promo with Renee Young, only to get interrupted by the glorious Bobby Roode. It's announced 2 out of 3 falls next week. Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, next week. Winner goes on to be a member of Team SmackDown for the 5-on-5 Survivor Series matchup. Hopefully Roode wins. Nothing against Dolph, but Dolph doesn't need to be on SmackDown's team. You know, Bobby needs it more than he does. And Bobby is glorious, unlike Dolph. And finally, the main event. The Viper Randy Orton taking on Sami Zayn. Winner is the first member of the SmackDown team. Raw was a solid main event between Sami and Orton. You know, there was some great back and forth between the two. We thought Sami was going to win. We thought Orton might take it. Flings his opponent in there and just lets him drop on the announce table. Sami Zayn with that, I don't know how he does it without hurting himself, where his opponent is on one side of the ring post, he's on the other, and he jumps through the middle into a tornado DDT, planting Orton. And just as Randy Orton was getting ready to hit him with his, you know, signature 2 moves of doom, Kevin Owens comes out, interference, Sami rolls him up, 1, 2, Orton kicks out. And then Owens, while distracting the ref, Orton, low blow. And then you can get Sami, as Randy Orton-esque as you can get, methodically looking at Kevin, RKO, 1, 2, 3. Orton wins, and he is the first member of Team SmackDown. And Kevin Owens takes on Nakamura next week. And I'm thinking that Owens probably isn't going to take the victory. And they might, Sami and Owens might kind of screw Team SmackDown. That's the kind of the vibe that I'm getting early on after this first show to build towards the Survivor Series. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting right now. Overall, it was a pretty good SmackDown for me. I thought it was through and through. The matches on the show were good. The segments were good. And there was no Raw invasion. Maybe, you know, a lot of people were thinking that Raw was going to retaliate. Come on, you know. They're not going to retaliate the next night. You know, they got 4 weeks to build this 5-on-5 matchup. So, you know, and SmackDown next week is in Norfolk, Virginia. If you guys do recall, D-Generation X invaded WCW in Norfolk, Virginia. So, you know, when I heard that SmackDown was going to be there the next week, that's immediately what went through my head, that maybe next week, to kind of throw it back to the DX invasion of WCW, you know, Raw's going to invade SmackDown. All right, that's going to do it for this overview of SmackDown Live. Hopefully I could turn this into a weekly thing, doing this for Raw, for SmackDown Live, all the pay-per-views. So hopefully next week I have the availability to be able to do this from Monday Night Raw, again for SmackDown. All right, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys if you sat through this video. I just want to thank you guys for doing so.